So a bit of new fan art came in. This was sent in by Drew, aka the Mega Man Master, and according to him, robot masters and their like, apparently they don't take kindly to my name, so be forewarned if traveling in the year 20XDX. I also got a couple of new sprite comics in from G & Watch. First there's this one, which takes the concept of my nightmare bosses to extremes. 100 quick men at once, and 100 needle men and elect man and slash man, oh gods. And then there's this one, in which Iceman seems to be trying to trick Cerno. It was the 9th sprite comic he did, so it's only fitting that it has to do with Cerno. As usual, for better detail, I have indeed uploaded this onto my site gallery. And in fact, I think at this point I've gone through all the fan art I've been sent over the past year. So it's all up there for viewing. And finally, this came in from Invisible Coin Block. Oh dear God, surrounded by quickmen. Yeah, the rematches are getting out of hand. So before we get on to the main video, a quick update on my site. In addition to having all the fan art from the past year uploaded now, I also have a couple of polls running at this time. One to ask what I should play after I finish the Mega Man 9 Perfect runs, because there are a few various choices there. And also, I have another poll, and this is in response to someone recently posting, kind of questioning how I display fan art. Personally, I feel like this is the least I can do to thank people who've been nice enough to send things in to me. But I'd be interested in knowing what my viewing audience actually thinks about that, so please go there and vote. So with that, thank you for listening to the announcements, and now on with the show. Hello, Rowan Mithril here once again, and it's time to launch into the second half of the game. Let's see if we can get a nice solid footing. Time to go after Concrete Man. He's a bit on the large side, but so long as we're careful it shouldn't be too terribly bad. So here we are in the jungle. Maybe it's a concrete jungle. Haha. Oh dear God, birds! Owl Blast. Yes, these are hoo-hoos. They're not as bad as Pippies, though still annoying in their own right. They just drop shattering boulders rather than, homing birds. From the Pids, we have Deterna Yappas. They're up and down style enemies that can also shoot at you, so they're all kinds of fun. And that was a very originally named classical cannon. These are Gagabules. They're basically the same as the original Spines from the very first game. Shoot them to stun them, and if you're on the same level as them, they speed up. But they're not too problematic to get around for the most part. So now we have the sub-boss, Peyozo. The first one's very easy, you just have to hang on this ladder and no problem. The second one switches to a green ball. It sends it bouncing. So long as you're close enough to it from the start, it bounces right over your head, so it's not too troublesome. The last one switches back to red, but introduces these pits along the way. Since it tries to move you while pulling the ball back, that can be problematic, but still not too bad. We're just meeting all kinds of new enemies. This is a day spider. Once you're close enough, it drops down and it can start bouncing around. It can be a real pest. A bit of a stage gimmick here. Notice that the tile in front of me looks different than the others. That's because it's a fall-through. That'll be more dangerous later on. Shiny! Okay, so this you have to time fairly carefully. There we go. The waterfalls don't hide anything too dangerous. In fact, this waterfall helps you. There's a block within it that blocks this classical cannon from being able to hit you. This day spider is easy enough to snipe. Here we have a Bomb Boy. If you get close enough, it starts bouncing and sends out 2 balls in an arcing pattern. For the most part, they're not too troublesome. The one down there can't even hit me at this height. Finally, one last stage gimmick. These platforms move up or down depending on which way the arrow is pointing. Not too difficult to get past, really. And now it's time to deal with Concrete Man. His weapon of choice is the concrete shot. He also loves to jump and shake the screen, so be careful about that. Essentially, you just want to watch what he does and then react. That and keep your distance so he can't hit you with the concrete shot. So long as you stay ahead of him, he's not too terribly problematic. Just be careful about letting him corner you. Also, time your jumps carefully when he's in midair, because if he shakes the screen, it'll stun you, and for quite some time, too. And Concrete Man is down. Ironic. The one-up curse did not come to pass. I got 2 extra lives in this stage, and no problem. New power, get. We have the concrete shot. This can be used to make platforms. It also freezes enemies in blocks of concrete and destroys them within, though they don't drop power-ups after that. It's also used as a special tool by some speedrunners, using a technique I believe called ejection to push you forward, but I'm not good at that at all. And a special scene. Otto has upgraded Rush. We have the Rush Jet, and Roll seems to be enjoying it. Or maybe not. I almost forgot about this scene. Aw, poor Roll. Otto will try and slow him down a bit. So not only did we get the concrete shot, but we got the Rush Jet. And 5 down, 3 to go. This stage did still have a few problems. I was actually kind of relieved I got some outtakes on this one, because for the most part it's not that bad, but still some outtakes to enjoy. It's pretty bad. We also have... Well, at least I got an outtake. They're not quite as bad as Pippi's, since they only drop shattering rocks, and not flocks of homing birds. But it's bad enough. Now, this red one wants to make things a little trickier with all these pits in the way. Still, well... Don't get near the extreme edges of the screen, or you won't have room to dodge the concrete shot. And also, don't double-guess things like that. Bugger! Don't go to the extreme edges, because... Oh, got stunned. Bugger! Ah! Oh, you cheat bastard! Yeah, if he does that from the start, good luck getting past it. Now I just have to have good timing down here and completely fail. Oh, I can't even jump off into the water. Fine. Demonstration! So, as I said in the first outtake in this group, I was actually kind of relieved to get some outtakes this time around. I wasn't actually sure I was going to get any. The thing is, most of the outtakes that I got, I can equate to personal clumsiness and just doing this when I was kind of tired. I was recording around 9 this morning, so yeah. Overall, when I really think about it, I give Concrete Man a 3 out of 10. And that's because I can kind of equate him toward how Tornado Man was. Slightly harder than Splash Woman, but not by much. With Concrete Man's stage, there is some irritating enemy placement, such as the very first room where there's just everything in the world trying to knock you into pits. There's also that one classical cannon in the room with the waterfalls that you have to time it just right. Other than that, though, the enemy placement in this stage really isn't all that bad. Then there's Concrete Man himself. His patterns can be kind of easy to lose track of. And beyond that, if you time a jump just wrong when he does an earth-shaking move to stun you, that can end very badly. There's also the matter of learning how to keep ahead of the concrete shot. I did actually learn later on that if you jump right when you start the battle, you actually can dodge the concrete shot if he decides to lead with it, but by the time I learned this, it was actually inconsequential. He didn't end up using it in the final run there. So, with this battle though, it really isn't all that bad if you're just very, very cautious. If you watch him react to what he does, this battle isn't all that bad. So, at the end of the day, a little harder than Splash Woman, not by much, so I give him a 3 out of 10. It seems about right for him. So with that, that's the end of this one. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you again next time. Until then, fare thee well.